Okay, hi there everybody. Um, and this video won't be on the BV event. I'll be doing a video next week on the BV event, which is coming up in 2 to 3 days, depending on when this video is uploaded. Um, I do believe I'm going to make a video on it, yes, so it will be coming up. And I'm doing this video on Beowulf. Beowulf is a 4-star berserker in the game. He has a chaotic good alignment, I believe. He's a pretty good berserker. I used him all the time. I used him all the time before I got Merlin. I use Hercules now. But Beowulf is a good character to use if you don't have that many berserkers, or if you, yeah. Beowulf, he's a 4-star, so his cost isn't as much. It's helpful. Okay. Now to begin the video on Beowulf. Okay, so Beowulf is a old epic poem. The story takes place in Scandinavia. And Beowulf is a hero of the Geats. He's still not king, but he's a hero to them, so they still follow him. And he goes and helps Hrothgar, the king of the Danes, which is from Denmark, right? Whose med hall? The med hall is the place his father built. The Hrothgar's father built to put all his treasures, since he was a very mighty king and was able to collect a lot of treasure. He made a med hall where he put all his treasure and he divided equally among the people who helped him. And then when he died, his son took over, and recently a monster started attacking them, and they couldn't fend him off. And so that's where Beowulf comes in. The monster that was attacking them is called a Grendel. Grendel. Okay, so they're under attack. The med hall is under attack at night. Only at night does he strike. So a lot of his soldiers, Hrothgar's soldiers that helped him, are killed because of this. The first time he attacked them at night when they were all sleeping. So he was a pretty menacing monster. After Beowulf slays him, Grendel's mother attacks the hall. She wants to seek revenge for her son. You see, Beowulf goes into the fight like a total champ, I'm telling you. Apparently, there was this other dude that was like really, really upset that Beowulf had come and tried to, like, solve their problems. He was like, yo, you could even defeat this other person that's way better than you, and you expect to defeat Grendel the monster that we couldn't defeat? It was hilarious, okay? And then Beowulf starts talking about how he was better than the person he mentioned, which didn't come up in the book again, I believe. But oh my god. So Beowulf says that he won't take his sword in a place his body is too afraid to go himself. So he actually fights Grendel, the monster that everybody's been like terrorized by, barehanded. This explains his noble phantasm. As I said, you see, he doesn't use a sword. Instead, he goes in there like a total muscle man, a berserker, as you would expect. Okay? And he uses his hands and grabs the monster and like rips his arm out. He grabs his arm, and then the monster goes fleeing away, but he grabbed that arm, and afterwards, after the monster disappears and like the sun comes out and everybody who's awake, um everybody wakes up and sees that Beowulf put the arm in the, what's it called, the med hall. Oh my god, the king praised him. Hrothgar, he was like, oh my god, he was amazed himself. Let's be honest, who wouldn't be? This thing was terrorizing them for like years before Beowulf decided to come and help them. Okay, yeah, so Grendel, his arms are ripped out, he's dying, and then his mother comes to seek revenge. And of course, the mother comes to seek revenge the day after Grendel died. Yeah, this like the day after Beowulf got his victory, right? And she is also defeated, which, let's be honest, everybody saw that coming. Who didn't see Beowulf winning? But I did find the noble phantasm part very astonishing. Like when I read that part, I was amazed that Beowulf was actually able to do that, and I like the part that incorporated it into the noble phantasm. Instead of using his swords to take down the enemy in the noble phantasm, he uses his hands. He punches it, and I found that awesome how it actually went with the story. Okay, that aside. So afterwards, Beowulf, yeah, they celebrate his victory. And then he goes home to his homeland, right? And then he becomes king of the Geats, which is modern day Sweden, I believe. Yeah, Sweden. And after a while, in the same story, like years pass, 50 years have passed, and Beowulf defeats a dragon, but is mortally wounded. So, wounded in the battle, and so he dies. I think I summed that up way too quickly, though, because there were a lot of other corporations. But my favorite part about this whole thing uh, was the first part, the part where he defeats the mother and son monsters, that little family there, because they had terrorized those people for years. But the ending where Beowulf defeats the dragon, it, it was amazing too. So, he after his death, his attendants cremate his body, and they built a tower to remember him. Um, so when this was made, it had no title. So Beowulf story, it got its name from the protagonist, which is Beowulf. So yeah, so it actually didn't have a title until people put a title on it, which was Beowulf, which I found interesting. And the events of the poem, everything that is going on takes place in the 6th century. Um, yes, in the 6th century. But the poem itself is written by some Englishman, is what I remember reading. So this is an epic. Beowulf is an epic. It's considered an epic poem. The main character is a hero who travels great distances to prove his strength at impossible odds against supernatural demons and beasts. Yep, that's what an epic is. Beowulf is pretty cool. It's not only an epic, but the character itself. He had some characteristics. He was he found Grendel as a monster who compared to him. I would not have done that. To begin with, I wouldn't have been in the battle. But Beowulf was a great character. Okay, the story aside, and the servant, because the servant isn't always like the story. So his attribute is earth, and his alignment is chaotic evil. His stats. So his strength is A, his endurance is A, agility is A, luck is A, and MP is an A. So the MP is a D though. So, So his servant skills, which obviously as him being a berserker, he has berserk A, which is increased attack for 1 turn and increases noble phantasm damage for 1 turn. And this is available from the very start as soon as you get him. Now, Intuition B, which everyone knows gains critical stars, is unlocked after the first accession, and then his third skill, Battle Continuum, which is Guts. 1-time Guts for 4 turns is unlocked after the third accession, and the main priority here has to be Berserk A, because you have to strengthen them up. The main point of Berserker is they attack damage they do. And intuition, yeah, I guess. He does do a lot of hits. So doing gains critical stars plus the amount of hits the critical stars he would gain would help your party itself. But it's not very necessary. Like, it depends on the character you're using him with. So yeah. Battle continuation is because of him being a berserker, he's taken out more easily. And the defense, he has very bad defense, and so glass cannon, right? All berserkers. His noble phantasm is Grindel Buster, and as I said, the story it just makes sense why it would be Grindel Buster 8+. It's Grindel Buster 8+. Apply sure hit for yourself one turn and deal significant damage to a single enemy. And okay, so if you do the thing to enhance the Nova Phantasm, it'll become Grindel Buster Upgrade 1, right? It'll become an A++. Okay, now this, honestly, the only thing it changes from what I researched was... Jesus, I forgot. I'll just ask my brother to clip that out. Okay. Now, interlude quests. There are two quests, but only one is available at the time in NA. And the interlude quest, quest requirement reward for interlude 1, you have to complete Septum, which is I think that's the third singularity. Okay, and then you have the requirements to do it are a session 2, so you have to have the second session and a bond level of 4. Now, for the one that hasn't come out yet, you have to have them at 4th session, and the bond level is at 0. Now, the craft essence you get from him when you reach a bond level of 10 is Final Battle. When equipped on Beowulf, all allies will inflict 20% bonus damage against dragon while on the field. So I was right, there's a dragon thing somewhere. Okay. Now, this whole video was on Beowulf, and honestly, Beowulf is pretty amazing. Most of these characters in the game are amazing, but Beowulf has a great story behind it, and you should always try to read that epic if you get the chance, because it was really amazing. Oh my. I think that's all. Yeah. Don't forget to like or subscribe. Is that what I'm supposed to say? Yes, that's what I'm supposed to say. And, yes, this ends it. Beowulf is the best. Bye.